Well, journey number 2, going from the house to the cabin. And I think the dogs might want to go for a run with me. So, come on, boys. So we're leaving my nice house and we're going over to my cabin. And we're not going to leave my property the whole entire way. So this nice long trail over to my house cabin is on my property the whole entire way. The dogs just love it out here. They love running. Sometimes I'll be over at the cabin, can't find my dog, and run all the way back to the house, which is from my house over to the cabin is probably somewhere right around a half mile to 3/4 of a mile. And the nice thing is they can stay on my property the whole entire way there. And as you can see, the trail is nice and dry, which is extremely unusual. In the spring it is treacherous, sliding all over. This clay here just turns to sloppy mud. Come on, Charlie, let's go. So, see lots of critters through the woods at certain times of the year. Moose like to come down to the river as it gets closer to winter. This time of the year they're up in the hills and the mountains where it's a little bit cooler, so that they don't have to get bothered by the bugs nearly as much. This year the bugs aren't too terrible. Sometimes the mosquitoes can carry you away, but not this year. So as you can see, this right here is what the mud looks like, and this trail, when it rains, the whole trail will look like that. And there's been many times where I get stuck just driving in between the house and the cabin because the trail's so muddy. You have to winch yourself out. But when you look through the woods, you won't see very many spruce trees anymore. They're all dead, and they just snapped off. Anything bigger than 12 inches around is dead as can be. And unfortunately, a lot of wood on my property is going to waste. There's one of the trees right there that snapped off. There's a tree that was snapped off. There's about 5 or 6 trees this spring that were laying across the trail. So you have to bring a chainsaw in order to be able to cut your way in and out to the trail, in and out to the cabin every now and then. I've gone over to the cabin, spent the night, gone back to the house in the morning, and had to go back to the cabin to get the chainsaw because I couldn't even get through. So this is a pleasant journey where I don't have to worry about seeing or hearing anybody out here. I only have one neighbor that lives out here full time, and then I have another buddy that does the snowbird thing that has a cabin next to mine on the river. And other than that, there is my buddy Jeff. He only comes out a couple weeks a year. His place is up next to Ryan's. So we have all this territory all to ourselves. Over here to the left, this is all my property. Over here to the right, that's my buddy Tim's. There are some fresh moose tracks. The problem is that if there is a moose or a bear here, it could be 5 feet off the trail and you wouldn't see it. It's just so thick. And it's amazing how quick this stuff grows. 2 months ago, you could have looked 100 yards across here and seen everything just fine. Up there's some fresh moose tracks right there. So as it gets closer to the fall and gets colder and everything starts dying off, you see a lot further, and that's when you start seeing a lot more animals. They're there, but you just can't see them. So I like to see this wet point here. I like to call this my halfway point to the cabin. Old Rusty, he likes to just lay in the water. Anytime he sees water, he has to lay in it. Playing it, laying it. This right here is normally has about 2 feet of water in it. Let's get going, Rusty. Come on. Good boy. Come on. But as dry as it is now, I've been stuck in that hole there many, many times. Come on, Charlie. So my dogs just love running around out here. Nobody bothers them. Rusty Hildog on disappear for an hour, and you can barely hear his bark a mile in the distance. And he's out there having fun. He always makes it back. So well, we're getting a little closer. Okay. Don't want to run the dog over. This area right here, I've seen a foot of water in there and just can't get through it no matter what. Oh, Rusty must see something. He's running into the woods. He runs through this woods like a gazelle. So it's just sad. There's another spruce that just snapped off. I mean, it's just sad how many of these trees are just gone to a waste, and how many of them are dead. Them spruce beetles just decimated the woods around here. So hopefully we'll get some new growth. But I mean, even this one, see how small it is, and they even got that one. Normally when they're small, the trees are small, the spruce beetles have a hard time getting into the bark. But once they get bigger, you can just see all these spruce trees all dead right here. And a couple years ago, these were all alive. Let's go, Rusty. So this cow parsnip, it's amazing how big the leaves get on these plants. I mean, I can see the cabin in the distance. I'll give you a quick tour. I got solar, and I have an inverter and a battery bank for power. I don't have indoor plumbing because it's just a cabin. This is my storage shed, and then we'll go around. I have an outhouse straight ahead. That right there is my generator shed, and right next to it is my wood shed. And then here's my trusty rusty cabin. And when you keep on going around, I have another cabin over here. And that is another outhouse. And then this right here is my bathhouse. I got a propane tank in there, and I can heat up water, and I have a big sink that I can that has a pump in it, and I have a regular shower in there, and you can take showers, stay clean. And then I'll show you how close we are to the river here. Right here in front, my strawberry patch is way overgrown, but I had 2 strawberry patches that just give you tons of berries. And voila, we're at the river. As you can see, the river's really high right now, due to the fact that it's so warm. We have so much glacier melt. But Rusty, he has already been in the water. He just loves swimming. I've seen this river probably about 4 or 5 feet higher, real close to the edge of the bank up here, so it does get real high. But I've also seen it where I can't even get my boat in this channel right here in front. But I'll put my boat in next week and take you on some fishing adventures up the river and show you a couple of my honey holes. So anyways, we'll holler at you here soon.